Sorry about that, Ashley. My one son just called, so I needed to take that phone call. The one that we had issues with a couple weeks ago. Section 14 is students and teacher discourse. Oh, you can't see this, sorry. Okay. So this one, I liked the bookmark that you had in there, the 5 talk moves of revoicing, asking students to restate someone else's reasoning. I really liked that one. I used that in most of the videos after. Probably should have done that one as an artifact, but I really liked using that one to have them restate their partners, what their partner restated. And then the other one is using the wait time. I've used that, take your time, we'll wait. In one of my observations last year, probably because I was being observed, but when a student had the wrong answer, I just jumped to another student. And he made the comment that depending on the purpose for the question, that let the student have time to figure that out and think about that. So I liked these mathematical discourse 5 talks moves. Then I've included why let's justify. Lesson planning, what's best and why. And then my artifact, like I said, I almost should have done the other one, but my artifact for this was the open strategy sharing my lesson video. So I put my link to YouTube there. This video is that of the open strategy sharing lesson in which I recorded part of the lesson and student work. Students were asked to solve a word problem using any strategy they chose. I selected this as reflecting back on my own teaching through video is one of the best ways for me to grow as an educator. This artifact supports Proposition 4, in which teachers think systematically about their practices and learn from experience. Teachers need to continue to learn and adapt their teaching based on research-based best practices with the ultimate goal of supporting and increasing student learning. I learned that videoing myself is one tool that I can use to better understand and reflect on my own teaching. In becoming a better teacher, I will be able to more effectively meet my students' needs and help them be successful learners in math. Thinking, writing, and videoing are all ways to reflect and think on my practice in a systematic way that allows me to learn for myself. The next artifact here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one is number 10. Cognitively guided lesson, 3-phase lesson video. This is my last artifact. There's my link to YouTube. This is the video of the 3-phase lesson, 3-phase cognitively guided lesson where students were asked to solve the math problem of the week, which was one that we had done for an assignment. On a game show, contestants earn 6 points for answering a question correctly. They lose 2 points for every answer that is incorrect. After answering 10 questions, Greg's score is 36. How many questions did he answer correctly? The 3 phases were before, during, and after the lesson and included specific components in each. I chose this lesson as an artifact because it is necessary for students to be able to both model problems with various strategies and to be able to reason. This artifact supports NCTM Standard 4, which is Model with Mathematics. This standard is important as students need to be able to model problems with varying strategies and think flexibly about how they go about finding a solution to math problems. By allowing students to explore the problem and not solve it in a specific way, I allow them to practice that creative thinking and problem solving that they will need in real world. From this lesson video, I learned that as an educator, I can have a hard time letting go and allowing students to solve a problem in the way that they think is most fitting. This included allowing them to make mistakes or try something different. By being aware of this tendency, I can make sure to support students as needed, but allow them the opportunity to work through and truly understand a concept by trying various strategies and ideas until they gain that understanding. And I think that ties back into my very first one, where where we use and understand, teacher understands and uses a variety of instructional strategies to encourage learners to develop deep understanding of content areas and their connections, which was the INTAS Standard 8. And I really like the NBPT Standard 1, Commitment to Mathematics Learning of All Students. So I think they all just tie back in to each other. This standard, Model with Mathematics, this standard is important as students need to be able to model problems with varying strategies and think flexibly about how they go about finding a solution to math problems. By allowing students to explore the problem and not solve it in a specific way, allow them to practice that. Oh, I read that, sorry. Oh, I've read all of this. Okay, so here's my videoed lesson links for both of those, the open strategy video and the cognitively guided lesson 3-phase lesson plan. So I put those links there again. Full binder. Number 15 is my math stations. So again, I have my notes in here that I took on math stations. I printed off the ones from in the PowerPoint, but then I continued to add my notes to that. One question I liked here, in the Bloom's-Garner Web, think about Webb's depth of knowledge. What level is the task? Remember that all students can work at a higher level. What support scaffolds? And so I asked myself the question, am I providing enough tools for them to be successful? So I liked that. My math workshop, adding my chart that I filled out for getting started with math workshop, and then a blank one for another one. I included in here my original plan for math centers, which were the fluency worksheets. And then I had task cards for my word problems. And then my technology center, which was Prodigy on Chromebook. After talking with you, though, I had changed my word problem center to include just one word problem put on the butcher paper, and they really liked that. Like you had commented, it gets them up, moving out of their seat. My math journal sentence starters, my rules for math workshop, and then my anchor chart for ratios, and then my math center rotations. Math groups was 16. So I included in here that math groups lecture, pause, and reflect questions about my students and math and their feelings about math. And what I do was the first section and what ways I get, how I teach. And then I included here the pictures of the students working at their math centers, and I included their work along with the lesson plan templates. And then the blank one, and I included my video link. Differentiation. I included here my vocabulary map because when I read the chapter, my word was multiple entry points. And for me, that was definitely differentiation. What it is like, what it is not like. I like this because sometimes I think that students can tell you what it is, but they may not exactly understand what something is not. So I am going to use a similar chart for students because I like the part that what it is not like, or what it is not, my blank map. I included my multiplication and division, the children's solution strategies, for further reflection. So with the type of multiplication, the problem type, direct modeling strategy, the counting strategy, and derived fact strategy. And then one thing that I always say I really like everything, but I was made aware that by predicting how my students would solve these problems, then I can be prepared to address those questions in my initial instruction. I included my vertical alignment of operations and algebraic thinking in here because it's important to know what they should have learned and where they're going next. And my students are going to be at all different levels, so I can fit them in there. I know where they're at, my differentiation planning. I included my children's solution strategy, the discussions on strategy that children use to solve addition and subtraction problems. So I included that. I also included beginning to use cognitively guided instruction. The teacher's role is to listen and question. Students' role, learn by talking and trying, which is trial and error. Defend thinking, use multiple intelligences, multiple strategies. So those were just some of the notes from that. I included the introduction to cognitively guided instruction, showing the pictures, different ways. Were a few of the notes I took on this. Multiplication and division, again. My cognitively guided instruction reflection questions. And then my teacher's guide to cognitively guided instruction. And then counting strategies for students to solve word problems with addition and subtraction. And I included here my daily reflection form to help me with that. Section 18 was teacher specific. I have notes on the Powerful Mathematics video, which was the balanced approach, engaging students in assignments that matter, questioning and feedback for deepening understanding, formative assessment data, ownership of learning. And then I have notes on each of those sections. Think, Pair, Share Classroom video, and then Independent Classroom Thinkers video. Again, asking, also besides restating, asking a partner to restate what their partner said, we can also ask them, I took away from this video, is what did you learn from your partner? And that is promoting independent thinking. I have my math problem of the week here, 1 and 2. Analyzing robust and limited evidence. My math newsletter. And then this piece, which we can use in the classroom for parental engagement, helping your child learn mathematics. Ideas in there that I was able to get that we can include parents. That's the spot where I found that we need to have parents be positive about math, even if they had a negative experience themselves. And then being a reflective practitioner. Getting started with reflective practice. So I'm going to skip to the next one. I've used Gibbs in there. My last section, section 19, who I am as a math educator. I got on and created a word art that I really liked. Again, because our students like to do different things. I like color, the art. Persevere was my big one, right? Connections, making connections, learner understanding. Everybody succeeds. Succeed, perseverance. So those were some words for me in math. And then I put some statements that I believe. I believe that every student can and will succeed, that we are all lifelong learners, that we can all learn math. All subjects are interconnected, including music, art, physical education, that we all deserve a chance, that everyone has bad days, but we should not be judged by them forever, that together we are stronger than alone, and never give up on anyone or anything. And then I just put in the back, I put my notes. I wanted to include my notes from the oral part of this final. So thank you so much. Thank you for the class.